For the next stage of your fish, we need to add some fins because it should have a fin on top and on bottom and at the back. Otherwise, it's what you would call a dead fish because it can't swim. And we're going to add some of these details with neon construction paper, and some of these details will be added with wire. So you have to sit and think about which parts do you want to build out of wire and which parts do you want to just make out of paper. And you're going to figure out, it's a good idea to put it underneath your fish because it's getting glued to the backside, and figure out where your details are going to go. So I think I want to use my wire for the tail fin and maybe for some details that stick out on top. So I'm going to put this underneath and then draw on my fabulous fish fin. It's going to look more like a mohawk. And I'm going to draw one down here. And feel free to get creative with it because our artist did that a lot as well. And also I'm going to use part of this to make, I'll use part of this one, to make a little bitty fin that goes on the side. And once they are drawn, you cut out your pieces. And then we put a little bit of glue on them to stick them to our project. So just a little line, not across the whole thing. So now we got fin on the bottom, fishy mohawk on the top, and then this little baby fin. I'm going to put just a little glue on here, and I'm going to make that one. I'm going to fold it a little so it sticks out, so it's not totally flat. Okay, I want all my tail fin to be where my wire magic is. So you will have some pans on your table full of wire. And I want you to pick out 3 pieces, or at least one at a time, until you have a total of 3. And we're going to work with jeweler's pliers. At least most of you will have jeweler's pliers. The end here is for grabbing and twisting. It's good for also wrapping around and making small spirals. This middle section is for pressing. And this right here, where the circle is, that's for cutting. Don't stick your wire there unless you want it cut. That's the whole point. So we're going to take your piece of wire. Let's say you wanted a tight spiral, like a curly fry. I would take the wire, and please don't poke the end because it will stab you. I'm going to take the wire and pushing from the side and hold it. And if I wrap it around this little paintbrush, it will give me a magnificent spiral that I can use to decorate my fish. So I've got my spiral as long as I want it. Now I'm going to put it in the cutting portion and cut it off. And I can repeat that as many times as needed. If you wanted a spiral that is flat, we can start it with the jeweler's pliers. So I'm holding it and starting to wrap a circle. So the circle has begun. And then the rest of it you can do with your hands. So some of these techniques can be done without additional tools. And cut. Or you could take the wire and just bend it with your hands to get other unique shapes. Once you have your pieces made and some kind of plan in place, then flip your little fishy friend over. And we're going to use a little shortcut called tape. And you're going to tape the end, just the end of your wires to the back side of your fish. Please make sure the tape doesn't show on the front. And it might be helpful to do a little scratching or rubbing of the tape right where you're attaching your pieces. That way you know it's stuck down and you're not going to lose any of your wires. Alright, your fish needs a little more bling on his body, so we will have a variety of beads to choose from. What you see is what I've got, so don't ask for more. So pick out a few beads that look interesting to you, and we can take the bead, and you just find the hole, slide it on the end of your wire, and then we use the jeweler's pliers to curl that wire back around. You can always take it and press down too. with the pliers to make sure the wire, to make sure your bead is going to stay put on the wire. It has to be curled around, otherwise the beads will come off. Take the bead, slide it on the wire, and take the end and curl it down so it's not poking anyone.